with long-term rentals, it's really, really challenging, especially in today's climate with home prices where they are, with interest rates where they are. It's just very difficult to really cash flow. Whereas short-term rentals, if you do it right, and I want to caveat it with like, you got to do it right. There's definitely a right way of doing things and a wrong way of doing things.
What is the number one secret to key to freedom with short-term rentals?
Yeah, so the thing that's really unique about short-term rentals as compared to a lot, real estate investing as a whole, or just like many of the different ways to make a side income. If you're potentially looking to quit your job and want, you want that cash flow that's going to be at or higher than maybe what your job was, it doesn't take a lot with short-term rentals. Like if you have a couple really high-performing properties, it's easy, or relatively easy to get to that, $5, $6, $7,000 a month cash flow range. Like you can do that with maybe one or two properties. Whereas with long-term rentals, it's really, really challenging, especially in today's climate with home prices where they are, with interest rates where they are. It's just very difficult to really cash flow. Whereas short-term rentals, if you do it right, and I want to caveat it with like, you got to do it right. There's definitely a right way of doing things and a wrong way of doing things. And, for me, through trial and tribulation, I've learned the right way to do things. But I also, I work with others and help show them the right way of doing things. But if you do things the right way, you find the right property, and again, you're trying to really supplement or take over your W-2 job. Like short-term rentals is the way for that. At least I haven't seen anything else that's better and quicker.
Fantastic. So key is making sure you're doing it right. And if you do it right, you can get that quick cash flow, and that, and even just superior cash flow sounds like it's the number one secret there. So I guess it leads into the next question. What's the number one secret to doing it right?
Yeah, so being really, really good. So it's definitely a whole process. It's an A to Z. At the first step, you got to be able to identify what I call a winner, like a property that can just be a potential home run. One that's going to outperform and do thousands more than like, the other ones around it. So, there's a variety of quantitative and qualitative ways to gauge that. The software I use, B&B Calc that I built, it helps you quickly run the numbers. So, be able to gauge if a property is potentially a winner or not a winner. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, is just identifying. There's data providers out there, but even the data providers, like the thing with short-term rentals is it's not an exact science. Thing with long-term rentals is a lot of times you can have a really, really good idea of what a property is going to rent for on a long-term monthly basis, especially if you're in a city with a lot of different houses or apartments that are similar. Short-term rentals, like there's huge variability. Like I can buy a house and Brett, you could buy a house and we might buy the same exact house and you might do $25,000 better than me. I'll say you probably won't. It'll probably be the other way around at this point. But my point being is like, there's just a lot of variability. And when there's a lot of variability, there's a lot of opportunity. The caveat being you have to do things the right way. So, underwriting it, knowing what the amenities you need in the property are that are going to allow you to beat out the competition. Because ultimately that's what it is. If someone's going to Airbnb, they're looking between three houses. Why are they picking, my house versus Brett's? Or why Brett's house has a heated pool where mine just has a pool? Well, then they're going to go with Brett's. So did that heated pool cost that much money? No, it was $5,000. If you're going to spend $5,000 and get $20,000 more in annual bookings, it's a no-brainer. So it's just being able to identify what those key amenities are that are going to allow you to outperform, and then creating the property and creating the experience that's going to satisfy the client's avatar that you're looking for. So that's, setting up the property the right way, finding the right property, and then it's managing. You got to make sure that you're very attentive. It's a hospitality business. That's different than long-term rentals. It's more akin to a hotel in the sense that you need guests who love staying there. You need 5-star reviews. You need to know how to price your property. You need to know how to market it. You need to know how to, have your local handyman, your local cleaners synced onto your system. So, it's not like you have to go there every day and clean it and take care of it. So it's just a whole process from A to Z, but it starts with being able to identify and underwrite properties.